Hey everybody, it's Brian for GadgetUnit.com, and it's time for episode 87 of my question and answer series. So starting all the way at the bottom with none other than Arturo Martinez, what are your thoughts on the new Taser drone? So that is this, and I don't really have too many thoughts on it. I mean, it's an interesting idea. They're trying to figure out as many ways as they can as to how they could use these types of drones, and this is one of them. I imagine this might be okay in crowded areas where there might be protests going on and it eventually leads to violent protesting, and they could use this to maybe control people and scare people away to try not to do what they were previously doing. That's pretty much it. I don't have too much to say about this particular one, so that's it with that. Next up, what are your thoughts on the LG G Flex and the LG G2? So here is the G2. I also have one next to me for review. I haven't used it yet because the service on it is not yet active, but it's a good phone. Its full price is lower than a lot of other phones, so it's really not too bad in terms of price. I don't think that putting the buttons on the back is a good idea. Was a good idea, rather. It's just every other phone on the market has them on the side. Everybody's happy with it. Why would you move it into an awkward place that people will then have to learn themselves? It just seems a little bit backwards. So I'm still looking forward to actually using this. The G Flex, though, is a much larger phone. No thank you. It's 6 inches. I just saw this one today. It is really huge. It's phablet territory, really. The curved screen, I still don't understand. There are very few uses where that might actually be useful. I don't know. This just doesn't seem like a good idea just yet. We'll have to see if other companies can sort of take this idea and further improve onto it and make it actually practical. If I put this into my pocket, it's not going to fit very well and it's not going to be comfortable. But you know, it is unique. They are trying to do something that's different, so that's nice to see. What are your thoughts on the game Kingdoms at War? I actually don't play these types of games because I've just never really cared too much about these fantasy type games. And that's pretty much it with that. The best show, Psych, is ending. Have any information on why? I don't watch this show. I've actually never heard of it. I rarely go to the USA Network. I think I went to them last month to watch a hockey game from the Winter Olympics, and that was pretty much it. I don't know. I just don't really have anything to say about this. I have no idea what it's about, so I can't answer your question. From Ferdy Malpartida, why do you hate so much on AT&T? Well, it's mainly their plans. Them and Verizon have the worst plans around. They just have to cap you in any way that they possibly can without getting in too much trouble. And it not only goes for AT&T's wireless plans, but for their home phone, internet, and TV services. So for their home internet, the last time I checked, you're capped at 250 gigabytes. Really? And what's funny is that if you do have their wireless home service and you come close to your data cap, it'll say, internet is unlimited on Wi-Fi. Well, not if you happen to use AT&T, because you are limited. They limit the number of minutes you get for home phone service. I think one of the base plans are 200 minutes. Really? It's 2014. They always say how their network is so reliable, we're so fast, but apparently the only way they can do that and say that is to limit how much people can use their devices until they have to pay for an overage. And that's where Sprint and T-Mobile really have it made, because there are no limits. You can use it as much as you possibly want with no throttling, no overages, and things like that. So AT&T's plans are just really not consumer friendly. They're confusing, they're expensive, they're just, I don't know why. Of course, my hate for AT&T goes back to when I was actually with them and I had my unlimited plan, but they took it away because I was tethering just a little bit, which is fine. The part I don't like is that they said that they sent me multiple reminders not to do it, notifications rather, but I never received those. So, you know, anyway, enough of that. From Juan Arenas, is there going to be an iOS 7 untethered jailbreak? There is for the iPhone 4, but from what I understand, it's really buggy. It's just too early to be used as a primary jailbreak for that particular device. I don't think we're going to see the iOS 7 untethered jailbreak until the next iPhone and iOS 8 are out. I don't know, should they use their exploits that they have saved up for iOS 7.1 or save it for the newer devices and the newer versions of iOS, which should be iOS 8, you know? From Arturo Martinez, what platform supports better or world acknowledged apps, Android or Apple? I don't understand what you mean by that. So from Harman Singh, when you build a PC, how do you determine if your parts are compatible with each other? The main thing that I usually look at is the motherboard, because from there you can determine whether you have SATA 3 or SATA 2 ports, what type of CPU socket you have, what's the maximum RAM speed that you can put into it, what type of PCI Express slots are available to you. So that's really what you should go on first, because then you could pick your processor, you could pick your video card, you could pick your optical and disk drives, you could pick your RAM, and everything else. Power supply is typically universal. Any standard sized power supply is pretty much straightforward. Same with the case, although with the case you just need to make sure that your motherboards are going to fit with it based off of the standard motherboard sizes, ATX, micro ATX, mini ITX, and so on. From the Ultimate Tech channel, the reason no one is active on your channel is because got used to move channels so many times. I didn't know that 2 is considered so many. This is only my 3rd channel, so I've made plenty of reminders for those people on the previous channels that I will be moving to a new one. If they didn't want to come over to the new ones, that's perfectly fine. I didn't say that people weren't active on this channel, because there are definitely plenty of conversations going on in a lot of other videos. It's just that particular PC build series wasn't very popular, most likely because I didn't Hackintosh it or do anything fancy like that a lot of people wanted. It was just a video series I decided to put out, whether or not people really wanted to see it, because I enjoyed doing it, and that's that. So it doesn't bother me that people weren't active on it. It did bother me a little bit that there were very few comments about it, but that's just the way it is with YouTube. You win some, you lose some. From Arturo Martinez, what other company provides the same customer service that Apple provides, and if so, do they sell laptops? I'm not sure. Apple really is the clear leader in this area, I believe. I think that other types of service might come down to the store you buy it from rather than the manufacturer that makes the laptop. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that Samsung might be a good choice for you. Samsung, they have one of the most popular Android phones around, so I'm assuming that their customer support is pretty good to support all of those users. And that concludes episode 87 of my question and answer series. If you happen to have any questions that you would like me to try and answer, please leave those down below in the comments area. And tune in next week for episode 88 of my Q&A series. That's it with the video, so thanks a lot for watching, and I'll talk to you guys very soon.